underway, and both Alisson and Virgil van Dijk are making their 50 appearances for Liverpool in the European Cup / Champions League tonight, as Liverpool defending the Kop in the first half. So they'll be playing from right to left as we look, and those red and white scarves are still being swirled around by the Lille supporters, who I've got to say have packed out that away end in the bottom tier, half of the bottom tier in the Anfield Road end away towards our left. So Lille coming forward, and already an early opportunity as a shot flashes wide. That was a really good effort. It was Gudmundsson who got forward, the left back, and well, there's a warning sign if ever there was one.
Yeah, straight away Gudmundsson, the left back, he gave Conor Bradley 5 yards and he made it up, but not only that, bullied him off the ball, shoulder barged him to the ground. And then I think they were all expecting a cross to Liverpool defenders, but he just opened up on his left foot, unleashed a thunderbolt of a shot. It just went past the post, but it had Alisson really concerned. I'm not sure he would have got there had it been on target.
Swedish international, his father Nicholas used to play for Blackburn and Ipswich back in the 90s, but he's in his 4th season at the club now, and that was certainly a warning sign unleashed by Lille. Oxford United 0, Luton Town 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Remember, Swansea are already leading Sheffield United by a goal to 0. Sheffield United second in the table, just a point off the leaders Leeds United. And Liverpool, ever since we were in San Siro on match day 1 and Christian Pulisic after 3 minutes gave Milan the lead, since then Liverpool are yet to concede. But Cardiff City have just conceded as Millwall lead Cardiff by a goal to 0. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff in the Championship. So Lille in all white, unable to get hold of that ball. There was Bakker in the midfield. Jones will play it inside to Szoboszlai. But they've certainly not come here to shut up shop, Lille.
No, they haven't. They've started extremely well. They've put pressure on the Liverpool defence. They've forced them back. But there's been a real intent from Lille to attack Liverpool. What a pass that is. Wow.
Ball over the top, and it releases Salah. Salah keeps the ball in play, edges his way towards the penalty area, sends in the cross and caught by the goalkeeper.
Oh, what a ball from Van Dijk. Just that crossfield pass that he just loves to hit. He almost cuts up across the ball and puts a slice on it, which takes it away from the defender. A 70-yard ball across to Mohamed Salah, but Salah can't quite get the cross in that the pass from Van Dijk deserved.
Preston North End have taken the lead at Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Preston 1. Lille have just put the ball out of play for a throw. Liverpool will take it far side the right. Bradley to Salah, barged from behind. Salah uses his strength. Bradley plays the ball back inside to the Egyptian, goes away from 2 players, tries to come inside another 2. Diakate was able to get the ball away, and now David will pick it up for Lille. And he holds on to it and rolls it out towards that far side, and this is Remy Cabella. You might recall had a brief spell at Newcastle United. Technically he was on their books for 2 years, but he played his first season in 2014, and then his second season he was shipped out on loan back to France and to Marseille. But he did lose here, actually, in 2015, the 2014-2015 season, by 2 goals to 0. Remy Cabella, 34 appearances and just the 1 goal that he had in that solitary season at St James's Park. Lille in possession, coming forward, ball rolled out to this near side, and ball played back, and that was an opportunity for Bakker to get it, but he came quickly under pressure. He's actually playing on this right-hand side, is Michel Bakker, the Dutch defender, which is, again, something that Bruno Genesio is tactically astute, likes to change things around, and as Kelly was saying, he's got a good pedigree. He's beaten Mourinho, Guardiola, Ancelotti and Simeone in his career. Benfica, incidentally, leading Barcelona by a goal to 0 in the Champions League. I was expecting Bakker to play on that left-hand side as he did against Real Madrid.
He played on the right against Marseille at the weekend though, so that's why when I looked at the team lineups I had him on the right-hand side, just thinking such a great result at the weekend. Would he really want to change too much in what he does? But they obviously feel like Diaz as well down that side might need doubling up on. Well,
there you are on an excellent run, new club record of 21 games unbeaten since they lost away to Sporting in mid-September, and David makes that run out towards that left-hand side. Jonathan David's cross takes a deflection. Tsimikas with a clearance, scuffed it a little bit. Nunez there reacted very quickly, dropping back inside his own half to keep the ball and then runs it away off the legs of Vaca. And you can hear the appreciation for the work rate of Nunez as they try to restore his confidence.
They're desperate for him to do well, aren't they? They really are. They've stuck with him through some tough times, but at the weekend I think they thought that might just give him the confidence. Tonight's a big night for him.
Yeah, after those 2 dramatic goals against Brentford, mind you, on the balance of play, over 30 shots at goal before he popped up with those 2 goals. It would have Arne Slot wouldn't have been happy to see wasted opportunities again, bearing in mind that a week ago they really should have won at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. Wouldn't have wanted a 3rd successive draw in the top flight. Here is Quansah at the back, almost comes to a standstill. Poised was Jonathan David. Goes square, Van Dijk, Tsimikas.
They've got 4 players closing Liverpool's back 4 down. The organisation's really good from Lille and making sure that they can't pass the ball through into midfield and allow Gravenberch and Jones to get on the ball. It's a really positive setup.
Mukau is going towards Van Dijk. David now will press Quansah. Does like to go on the front foot. There's their coach Genesio, who started coaching in '97, a year after retiring. He was a midfielder, not the biggest, only 5'8", but he had a good 10 years at Lyon, who he was later to manage. No other goals elsewhere around the country. This is BBC Radio 5 Live, and also live on Radio Merseyside. Van Dijk, just outside his own penalty area. Right-footed ball to Tsimikas, forward to Diaz, quickly closed down by Mandy. Very experienced Algerian defender, over 100 caps for his country. And again, trying to limit that space, because it would be a good point for Lille if they could stop Liverpool and their winning run. As Salah's effort is floated goalwards off his left foot. Never really had the power to trouble their goalkeeper Chevalier.
No, but it was the first time that they've come out the shape, Lille, and just allowed Liverpool to break forward. Mohamed Salah got his shot away with his left foot. I think it was slightly deflected, but that was the moment that as soon as they saw the opportunity to cut through them, Liverpool did it.
Lille keeping the ball well, goes across the back. This is Alexandro, passes it out to Goodmanson, closed down quickly by Mo Salah. Oxford United have equalised in the Championship against Luton Town, unbeaten in 6 before tonight in the Championship under their new manager Gary Rowett. They've won 4 and drawn 2. They're back on level terms. Aston Villa earlier losing at Monaco by 1-0. Liverpool Lille, and as we'll complete the trilogy of the French Connection on 5 Live, that's tomorrow night. Paris Saint-Germain against Manchester City. Celtic against Young Boys will be on Sports Extra. Lille lose the ball in the midfield. This is Diaz, central area. Tries to thread it through towards Salah. Balloons up in the air. Headed out by Diakate. Quansah shows his strength, will, and then Gravenberch prods the ball back towards Bradley, and Liverpool are in possession. Stephen.
Yeah, good strength from Quansah there, because he's going to be up against Jonathan David tonight, who's a very good striker, holds the ball up well, but physically that was good from Quansah. Something that he's had to work on in his game. It was something that was noted by Arne Slot in the first game of the season against Ipswich. Said he didn't win enough physical battles, and perhaps that's the side of the game that he's trying to be working on.
This is only his 12th appearance of the season, as Diaz, Mandy tracked him every way, got a sliding challenge in. Jones picks it up for Liverpool, back towards Van Dijk. So we've gone over 9 hours of Champions League football since Liverpool last conceded, as the ball is hit over the top by Van Dijk towards Szoboszlai. He's already hit one curler out from the back, looking towards Salah. He looked for another ball over the top on this occasion. If they get to 36 minutes without conceding, it would set a new club record in Europe for Liverpool. It would beat the 572 minutes of Rafa Benitez that they set in 2005-2006. So just under 25 minutes to go for Arne Slot, as his side have been so impressive in Europe this season. 0-0, 10 minutes played.
Szoboszlai made a forward run there, and so often what we're seeing with Liverpool now is that it's not a forward 3 anymore. Szoboszlai makes that a 4th striker, and there's a ball over the top from Van Dijk. I think the flag would have gone up that was the intent, that was the right thing, because the press of Lille is so good. It might just be a longer ball that takes the press out the equation.
Mandy's ball inside. Andre, very experienced, will play that ball out towards Cabella. Goodmanson on the overlap. Cabella comes inside. The ball is cut back. Mukau was there. It was a heavy touch, and in fact the flag was up on this near side. But again, another promising move down that left-hand side.
Yeah, they're really clever the way that they play out from the press, and because Liverpool are going with a forward four, if they can just find a pass in behind, and this time it was Andre who freed himself up and then allowed them to advance down that left-hand side. Salah perhaps will be a little bit more lazy, won't track back as much, and then it allows Goodmanson to get the overlapping runs in.
Those who know their French football and have studied Lille will tell you that Genesio favours a 4-2-3-1 formation, as Nunez with a cross on the right-hand side. Mandy's clearance goes straight towards Salah. His instant layoff went towards Mukau. But, yeah, they like to favour a short passing game, but he's not afraid to go long, Genesio, to beat the press, if that's what Liverpool do. It's a good contest so far. 11 minutes in, 0-0. Here is Mandy. They like to get men forward as well at every opportunity. Mukau goes back. Alexandro, the Brazilian defender, at the heart of their defence. Luton Town are back in front, incidentally. Oxford United 1, Luton Town 2. And Slovan Bratislava, who are already out, and in fact with Sturm Graz losing 5-0 at Atalanta. Sturm Graz are the fourth side to be eliminated in the Champions League. Slovan Bratislava were already, along with Leipzig and Young Boys, out of the competition. But Stuttgart are leading by a 0-0 there in Slovakia. BBC 5 Live. Haraldson on that far side, the left, for Lille. Attacking the Kop. Cross takes a deflection off Gravenberg. Bouncing ball. Simicas heads it away. Bakker was anticipating the header back towards his goalkeeper Alisson. Nunez picks it up. Over the halfway line he comes. Midway through the Lille half is Luis Diaz. Simicas runs forward on this near side, the left. Passes the ball towards him, slows down, level with the penalty area. 12 minutes played, we're awaiting the first goal here on 5 Live. Jones inside, diagonal ball, Gravenberg takes it neatly, Szoboszlai goes short, gets the return ball back. Salah is to his right, here is Salah inside the penalty area, tried to get the ball back towards Conor Bradley, who was about 12 yards out from goal. And then that was a nice intricate passage of play from the home team.
Yeah, they just up the tempo a tiny bit, didn't they? Injected a bit of pace into it. It was Curtis Jones's ball into Gravenberg on the half turn, and then suddenly that freed him up and allowed Liverpool to get at the back line of Lille, but now they're being forced back to their own goal.
13 minutes played, still 0-0. The captain Van Dijk out towards Simicas. His forward ball is to Jones. Jones has to run away from Andre. He finds Diaz, who'll now cut inside off the left touchline. His right-footed cross. Alexandro with a header away. Bradley was coming forward to get there before Cabella to head it back for Liverpool. In the midfield it goes. Mukau was just caught, and the German referee, will give that free kick to Lille. I say it's a good contest between the two.
Yeah, it is really good. I think what you've got to remember, though, is that this isn't Liverpool's full team. They have got changes, so this is Lille at the best, and Liverpool are coping okay at the moment. I do feel that if they do inject a little bit of pace into the team, into the passing, that it will change the context of the game. But credit to Lille, they've not come here just to sit back.
And this is a Liverpool team where the games just continue to come thick and fast. Ipswich at home on Saturday in the Premier League, then they're away to PSV next Wednesday in the final round of games in this league phase, and then Bournemouth away, Spurs at home in the League Cup semi-final second leg, and then Plymouth in the FA Cup. Middlesbrough are leading West Bromwich Albion by a 0-0. I bet you Tony Mowbray got a cracking reception on his return to the Riverside, and there's been a goal at Derby. Charlie Slater.
Where Sunderland are leading, approaching the half-hour mark. Brilliant from Joe Bellingham, driving the team forwards. He slotted it to Mayenda, and Mayenda nutmegged the goalkeeper. It's Derby 0, Sunderland 1.
That would take Sunderland third and to within 2 points of Leeds United at the top of the Championship. Remember, Sheffield United are trailing at Swansea City by a 0-0. Bologna, who are yet to lead in the Champions League this season, have fallen behind to Borussia Dortmund Bologna 0, Borussia Dortmund 1 is the latest score, and Barcelona have equalised in Lisbon. Benfica 1, Barcelona 1. 5 Live final score is available, the iPlayer, the red button, and also on the website. But it's 0-0 here, and although it's been a good watch so far, in terms of chances, we just had that early effort from Goodmanson that flashed wide.
Yeah, there's not really been anything of note to talk about, has there? But I think it's more a battle in the midfield areas, the tactical side of the game. It's almost like a chess game at the moment, both teams trying to find each other, sort of work each other out.
Ball hit over the top by Kwanzaa, and it was Salah on this occasion who was after. It was a lofted ball, and because of its height, it enabled Chevalier to quickly come off his goal line and gather that ball in. As this is Mandy, the right back. Bakker plays it back, laid off by Alexandro, and then Diakate will go back to the goalkeeper in his luminous goalkeeping outfit, away towards our left-hand side. Ball played forward. Lille are coming under pressure because Liverpool are pressing them very, very quickly. They go back towards Chevalier, who floats it forward, but that's going to be intercepted by Tsimikas. Forward header to Luis Diaz. Tsimikas powers ahead of him. Here is Tsimikas, early ball in on the stretch. Alexandro with a clearance away. You could see Liverpool just turning the screw. Yeah,
it was Curtis Jones who just set off, and he does it so often. He picks the crowd up as he goes to close down, and poor clearance from the goalkeeper, well capitalised by Kostas Tsimikas, and the overlapping run. Just couldn't quite pick his man out as he comes down the left in a jinking run now.
He went past two, and it was the third player. Lille thought that there'd been a foul by Tsimikas, but it was an amazing little run. He, of course, made his impact with Jota when they came off the bench at the City Ground last week. Then he returned to the starting lineup at Brentford. He's retained his place in the starting lineup here tonight. Gravenberch, short diagonal ball towards Szoboszlai. The ball wouldn't initially go with the Hungarian, as the dark-haired midfielder chips it across towards Tsimikas, controls it midway through the Lille half. Every white shirt is back behind the ball. 17 minutes played, it remains 0-0. Here is Kwanzaa. He must be almost 10 yards inside the Lille half on that right-hand side. Gravenberch's early ball over the top, and it will go out of play for a goal kick. I must just say a word for Chris Rees, who compiles all of our stats on opposition teams in European competition. He's convalescing after an operation. So Chris, if you're listening, from everybody on the 5 Live football team, we wish you well, and just to take it easy as you recuperate.
You haven't been messaging him asking for improv, have you?
I think he was keen to do it.
And you thought you'd test it.
Ball hit over the top. Cabella on that left-hand side. Cabella enters the penalty area. He turns. David is up with him. Cabella waits. He pulls it back. This is Haraldson. Can't get the shot away. Haraldson inside the D. Hesitates. Plays it out towards Bakker. Bakker onto his left foot. You see, if he was naturally right-footed, he'd have had a go first time. Mandy with a cross, headed away by Van Dijk. Diaz picks it up now as Liverpool are on the strike on the counter-attack. Wigan Athletic, incidentally, leading Burton Albion by a goal to 0. Burton, who are yet to win under their new manager Gary Bowyer, drawn 3 and lost 3 so far, and they've fallen behind there in League One. But that again had an element of promise from Lille.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Now, if that was Trent Alexander-Arnold in the right-back position, Liverpool fans would be going absolutely mad, and so would other people around the country, saying he can't defend. Now, Conor Bradley's been caught out 2 or 3 times now, high up the pitch, not seeing the danger, in behind, but everyone thinks he's the heir to the throne and that he should be playing more often, and you think that's how difficult it is to defend that long ball over your head so differently. But also as well, the cover's got to be there from Kwanzaa. You've got to see that pass. If you want your fullback to go tighter, you've got to then help him out as well. So a little bit of a learning night for Conor Bradley. Things have gone extremely well for him in the Liverpool shirt, but he is going to have tough nights as well.
And there speaks the voice of experience with Stephen Warnock, who of course began making his Liverpool debut as a left-back in the Champions League as Fleetwood Town lead MK Dons by a goal to 0. Peterborough 1, Exeter 0. Millwall have got a second goal. Millwall 2, Cardiff City 0. And Red Star 0, PSV 1 is the latest score in the Champions League. So Red Star, who are 5 points off the playoffs, and a PSV team who are are fighting to actually stay in Europe, and that win will do them the power of good. Burton Albion have actually equalised at Wigan. Wigan 1, Burton Albion 1. What's the latest at Swansea? Molly Stevens.
Swansea 1, Sheffield United 0. Swansea City looking by far the most threatening in front of goal this evening. Sheffield United seemed to capitalise on their early goal, Swansea's early goal, and got back in front. But you know, Swansea City are constantly pressing. A few shouts for penalty here from Swansea City fans. Bianchini brought down a suspected handball, but we play on. Swansea 1, Sheffield United 0.
Tsimikas with a back pass to Allison in his all-black goalkeeping outfit in front of the cop away towards our right. 20 minutes played, still 0-0. Bradley now has a chance to extend his legs and he runs forward. He's midway through the Lille half. His ball inside towards Salah. Salah looks towards Diaz, just overhit it, and it will go out of play for a goal kick. That was the other side of Conor Bradley.
Well, that's the side that everyone's used to seeing, isn't it? Advancing up the pitch, he takes it on the front foot, beyond the press of Cabela, and then he just finds himself driving at the heart of the Lille defence. But it's the weight of passing to Mohamed Salah that's even more impressive when you're on the run, to find that composure, to slow yourself down, to pick that pass. And Salah, he had the right idea, just couldn't quite execute the pass into Luis Diaz.
Ball goes to Allison, just touches it as he comes out of his penalty area to Tsimikas. 21 minutes played. It's a tight game, 0-0, with Liverpool, the league leaders of this new league phase, realistically knowing that the top 8 place is all but there for them. Gravenberg, it's all about momentum though for Arne Slot, as Curtis Jones caught in possession by Bakker. Mukau forward to David, back towards Haraldson. That was neat in the midfield. One touch, short passing, got themselves out of a sticky situation. They've been very confident on the ball in that respect.
Oh, they can play, they definitely can. They definitely know how to get out of a press and shift the ball quickly. They feel that press from Liverpool, and then they switch from taking 1 or 2, 3 or 4 touches just to suddenly play 1 and 2 touch. Very impressed.
Jones, 10 yards in from the left touch line, midway through the Lille half. Every outfield player is in the left-hand side of the field as we look high up in the main stand here at Anfield on a damp evening. A little bit breezy as well, not as cold as it has been of late, as Bradley passes the ball back to Allison, and once again he's outside of his penalty area. It's the Lille supporters who are creating the noise in the background here on BBC Radio 5 Live, as Bradley collects the ball back with Kwanzaa. David will run towards Van Dijk. That back four spread out. Tsimikas on this near side, the Liverpool left. Back towards Van Dijk, back to Allison he goes. David will continue to run towards the Liverpool keeper, who clears long, chested off by Salah towards Szoboszlai. Inside the centre circle, might open up here for Liverpool as Jones runs forward. Out towards Diaz, level with the area on the left-hand side, left corner of the box. Diaz passes the ball towards Szoboszlai, never in control of the ball. Nicked away by Haraldson, and Goodmanson can break on that far side, the left for Lille. And Nunez was the one who dashed back to curb the run of the left-back just over the halfway line. 0-0, midway through the first half.
He doesn't half-worked hard, Darwin Nunez. I mean, he has his other faults, but he is relentless in his running, the way he tries to trap back if players are out of position, and he knew that Mo Salah was out of position. He's just a little bit clumsy with the challenge. Lucky not to pick up a yellow card.
The referee, Felix Weyer from Germany, not taking any action, as Mandy, dark-haired right back forward, back inside towards Mandy. He's overrun that, and despite his efforts to slide to keep the ball in play, it went out for a Liverpool throw. Mentioned tomorrow night, Paris Saint-Germain against Manchester City. Celtic Young Boys is on Sports Extra. Thursday night we're at Old Trafford in the Europa League. Manchester United against Rangers. And on Saturday, Wolves, Arsenal and Manchester City, Chelsea will be our two commentaries as the live football continues throughout the next few days on BBC Radio 5 Live. Szoboszlai, Liverpool all in red, caught in possession though, nicked off him by Cabela as he was running back towards the halfway line. Szoboszlai then dispossesses him, he runs into trouble, and in fact the referee has given a free kick in favour of the French side, and Benfica are leading Barcelona by 2-1, so they are back in front in the Estadio de Luz. Benfica 2, Barcelona 1. Barcelona, remember, were the team closest to Liverpool before this latest set of games, where earlier in our first commentary, Aston Villa fell to a 1-0 defeat away to Monaco. Diakate out to this near side. This is a Lille team who are currently third in Ligue 1. Haraldson in field. Andre running back was Luis Diaz, and his ball cut out by Alexandro. Otherwise Salah would have been away, Stephen.
What a ball that would have been from Diaz. He tries to hit it with the outside of his foot, and credit to Alessandro, he just read it at the last moment, adjusted his feet and was able to stop that ball going through to Salah.
Here is Bradley, foul from behind, free kick. No, he's not going to take it quickly. It's midway through the Lille half, and they will wait some 10-12 yards in from the right touchline in front of that Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. There was a lot of empty spaces in the Kop just 5 minutes before kick-off, but it's filled up now, and you can't really see many empty seats at all around Anfield tonight as we're awaiting the first goal of the evening. 26 minutes played. Lille in all white, line up with a defensive line just inside their penalty area. PSV have got a second goal. Luke de Jong has got that goal in Belgrade. Red Star 0, PSV 2 in the Champions League. 0-0 here at Anfield. Salah and Szoboszlai standing over the free kick. Konsa is up from the back, as is Van Dijk. It's touched towards Salah, lifts it in and lifts it in too long. One bounce and out of play for a goal kick.
Just been a little bit off so far, Mohamed Salah tonight. Half a yard off with his passing, just not quite got his range. But one thing I'd say about Liverpool, there's been a few times now where they've broke the lines and they've not really committed the next pass, and it's been a little bit safe and it's been side to side, and it's allowed Lille to get back in, to get the shape. I'd just like to see them be a little bit more aggressive in the play, Liverpool, when they go forward. Blackburn
Rovers 0, Coventry City 1. Could we say that's the Stephen Warnock derby?
We certainly could, there's quite a few of them.
Ellis Sims has scored there in the Championship, and Atletico Madrid are down to 10 men. They're at home to Bayer Leverkusen. It is 0-0, but Pablo Barrios has been sent off, so they are down to 10 men. Bayer Leverkusen were 4th, and Atletico Madrid were 11th. The top 8, remember, qualify automatically for the knockout stages. If you finish from positions 9 to 24, you're into the playoffs, and then 25 and below, you're eliminated altogether.
You missed another derby, didn't you, tonight?
Go on. Could be, like you say, it could be many.
I'll let you work it out. Come back to me.
Wigan Burton.
Well done.
Yeah. Just had a look at the crib sheet. Here is Kwanzaa. As the challenge comes in from Benjamin Andre, the captain, and then a very long-serving midfielder, signed for £6.5 million some 6 years ago from Stade Rennes, and he's 230 appearances in that time. But 0-0.
They've got an incredible list of players, haven't they? When you look back through the history of Lille and you look at the players that they've released, the scouting network must be one of the best, if not one of the best in European football. Quite incredible.
The one player who I think they are really missing tonight is Jegrova, the Kosovan international, who scored 8 goals in his 21 appearances, but he will provide a threat. But they're holding their own certainly at the moment. Bradley forward, cut out by Alexandro, fell to the floor but still managed to get the ball away, and it will go out for a Liverpool throw over on that far side. But we've been playing now for nearly 30 minutes, and Liverpool are yet to test Lucas Chevalier, the Lille goalkeeper. Away towards our left, there is a good chunk of Lille supporters behind that goal who are all wearing black. Apart from that, it's a good smattering of red and white. Saw a lot of them disembarking the coaches as they arrived outside Anfield at around 4 o'clock this afternoon. 29 minutes played, 0-0.
Why did you get here that early? Was that 2 portions of food?
That's harsh.
Get here that early?
That is harsh. As you know, I'm on a bit of a diet at the
You're
moment.
looking trim, I'm not going to lie. And then you pulled out a massive packet of sweets.
They were for you. That was to celebrate your engagement.
Very good.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Unlike Gary Flintoff, who produced a bottle of bubbly, I thought that was for me at first.
Well, it had your name on it, and you didn't even know that it had been given.
I know.
Shocking.
I'm like that.
You just put and then you put out your hand to shake me hand. Oh, incredible.
I wonder how many times Liverpool will be cracking open the bubbly later on this season as they compete on all four fronts at the moment. Tsimikas on this near side, short of the halfway line. Van Dijk forward towards Jones. Lille keeping them at bay. Quite a high line as well from Lille at the moment. Nunez is central. Szoboszlai's just in behind. Salah wanting the ball, but they haven't been able to get it to him. Cut out now by Bakker with interception. Finds David, flicks it back. Haraldsson joins the attack. The Icelandic international, Szoboszlai dispossesses it. At times, they've had the ball, and then as the ball goes over the top towards Diaz, Diakate will come across. That was played over from Mandy. Early ball in, hit with real power and too much pace on it, actually. Salah couldn't get that under control, and Bradley couldn't keep the ball in play, but it was a wonderful cross.
He had to head it. There's no way he can lift his foot at that momentum, that speed that he's running at. There's only one thing he can do, Mohamed Salah, and he has to fling himself at it with his head. He's not known for his scoring with his head, though, so he goes at it with his right foot. He doesn't get anywhere or any decent purchase on it. It actually comes off his thigh, but that was better from Curtis Jones. Too laboured at times tonight on the ball. This time he gets it out of his feet, plays a long ball over the top to Luis Diaz, and as you say, he fizzes a lovely ball across the 6-yard box.
Would you be concerned that Liverpool, half an hour in, are yet to create a worthwhile opportunity?
No, because we were here for I was certainly here. Was I working with you for the Bayer Leverkusen game?
Yes, we were.
And it was very much the same in the first half, and you actually felt like Bayer Leverkusen dominated the first half in terms of possession and opportunities. And then second half, Arne Slot he's very good at half-time in his tactical changes, in his personnel, and then they came out and dominated that game. But that's not the only game. There's been plenty of those games where that's happened this season.
Well, talking of half-time, they're at the break. Peterborough 1, Exeter 0 in League 1, Hull 0, QPR 0 in the Championship, Blackburn 0, Coventry 1, and Middlesbrough 1, West Bromwich Albion 0 in the also in the Championship. But in the Champions League, a latest score, and Benfica have got a third goal against second-place Barcelona. So bearing in mind that Atalanta went third when they beat Sturm Graz 5-0 earlier, they actually travel to Barcelona next week, which would be a shootout to finish second in the table behind Liverpool. Swansea 1, Sheffield United 0 is half-time, as is Derby 0, Sunderland 1. We've got 13 minutes to go to the break. It's the Champions League. It's live on BBC Radio 5 Live, and that's a poor ball by Bradley out of defence. It goes straight towards Mukau. Mukau passes the ball out. Thought he might have had a dig at goal. Cabella picks it up left-hand side. Cabella runs, easily cut out by Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai prevents it from going behind, and Szoboszlai will let it run out of play, and it will be a throw to Liverpool deep inside their own half. Oxford United 1, Luton 2 is a half-time score. Harrogate 0, Colchester 0, Wigan 1, Burton Albion 1. Derby County, Sunderland, then Charlie Slater.
Derby 0, Sunderland 1. Mayenda's goal inside the half-hour marked the difference after Bellingham won the ball back on the halfway line and punished Derby, who, as things stand, are outside of the relegation zone on goal difference only, with Sunderland third. Derby 0, Sunderland 1.
Nunez on the halfway line, still 0-0 in the Champions League here at Anfield. Mo Salah comes in now off that right touchline, 30 yards out from goal, finds Szoboszlai inside. Szoboszlai caught in possession by Andre, now towards David. David is slow to turn and then holds on to the ball and passes the ball to Diakate, now towards Mandy, gets away from Tsimikas. David keeps it in play for Lille, holds off Tsimikas, makes a diagonal run infield. Tsimikas though sticks to his guns and slides in, and the ball from Jones, and Mo Salah could be in here. Salah comes forward and Salah scores. A half century of goals in Europe for Mo Salah. Left-footed, beat the advancing goalkeeper, and Liverpool take the lead. Liverpool 1, Lille 0.
Brilliant from Liverpool in the press and the way that they close down. Jonathan David gets caught on the ball, and the Lille players are flying forward because they think he's got good possession, but he hasn't. Tsimikas nicks it, he takes it out of his pocket, and then he plays the ball in behind, and it's a quite brilliant ball into Mohamed Salah. and Salah does what he does best. He composes himself, because there is an opportunity to square it to Luis Diaz, who has an open goal, but he doesn't take that chance. He wants to find the back of the net. But that's what I'm saying about Curtis Jones. The pass, it's more progressive. It takes the press out from Lille in the way that he plays the ball forward. Goalkeeper commits himself, and Salah bends it round him into the open goal. That's classic Liverpool counter-attacking that we've seen time and time again this season.
He hit it first time. It had the flight, it had the curl. And Mo Salah, his European record for Liverpool is 83 appearances, 50 goals, and he breaks the deadlock. Let's go to Molly Stevens at Swansea.
Swansea 1, Sheffield United 0 at half-time. Florian Bianchini with the goal, a header from set-piece, 7 minutes in, and it could be further ahead in truth. It's Swansea who've been asking all the questions of the Blades. Chris Wilder's had a frustrating 45. They look to go top, and they haven't had a shot on target. Swansea 1, Sheffield United 0.
Salah with a cross, gathered in by the goalkeeper Chevalier. That was a promising break for Liverpool, with Gravenberch and Nunez up with the Egyptian.
Yeah, I just felt the pass from Gravenberch was wrong. I felt that he should have driven either centrally and then played the pass, but he actually closed the space down in where Salah was and didn't really give him much of a pass. Liverpool have got a little bit of an issue here. Curtis Jones just fell awkwardly there, and he's not looking too comfortable. Oh no, he's took one in the nether region. There you go. That's why he's in so much pain.
Fleetwood 1, MK Dons 0, Watford 0, Preston 1, half-time scores in League 2 and the Championship respectively. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds also live on Radio Merseyside. And 36 minutes in, it means that Liverpool have set a new club record in Europe. 9 hours and 33 minutes since they last conceded. 573 minutes that equates to, and that beats the previous record held by Rafa Benitez. So not only are they looking at a 7th straight win in Europe to finish in the top 2 of this league phase, that is a new club record, which is some achievement.
It's incredible, but it's just hard work off the ball, not only from the defenders but the midfielders and the forwards. It's a team collective effort that. But isn't it incredible? You were just saying, what will Liverpool be thinking at half-time, not really creating anything, and suddenly they just spring to life. And that's why this Liverpool team is so dangerous, because teams feel like they're in a game and they feel like they're getting somewhere within that game, and suddenly they just turn it on and you're like, wow.
The referee has given a free kick against Liverpool on that far side, so Lille will have it on the far side. Mandy was booked in the earlier on for Lille. Hadn't spotted that. So 37 minutes in, that one crept under the radar from the German referee, Felix Weyer. But a lovely ball from Curtis Jones, who appears to have stopped his eyes from watering, and is over the pain of catching one in the unmentionables, as it's a free kick for Lille. Their supporters are still buoyant despite trailing by a goal to 0, as the first half is drawing to a close here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Macau midway through the Liverpool half, left-footed ball. Alexandro has challenged Alisson. The two Brazilians, Alexandro has stayed down now. I think he's feeling in a lot of pain. The referee lets play continue. Bakker has switched to the left. His cross is blocked out behind for Bradley for a corner kick, but now they'll turn to see and check on the welfare of the Brazilian defender, who's lying on his back inside the 6-yard area in front of the Kop.
Yeah, he had every right to go for the ball, and he doesn't foul Alisson as he goes up for it, but what he does is he gets a whack for his troubles off the goalkeeper. He just catches a knee in the backside as Alisson goes up, and they are sore, but he'll be back on his feet, I'm sure.
So it's a corner that Cabela is going to take on that far side. Stuttgart have got a second goal against Slovan Bratislava in Slovakia. 2-0 now, Stuttgart lead in the Champions League. Cabela waits to take the corner. It's an in-swinger, and it's cleared. Diaz does well to sidestep away from Bakker, and now hits a ball through the middle, and he finds Nunez. Look at the red shirts flying forward. One of them was Van Dijk. Instead he goes the other way. Salah now with a cross, and Alexandro actually heads the ball back and concedes the corner. Liverpool lead by 1-0. That was a devastating break.
They're so good at the breaks from the corners and set pieces against them, Liverpool. They flood forward in numbers because they really believe that they can hurt teams. The running power is so superior, but credit to Alessandro because he was up for the corner from Lille, gets himself back into a really good position. He doesn't take any chances at all, nods it round for a Liverpool corner.
Bolton 0, Charlton 0 is a half-time score in League One. You're up to date with the picture domestically. We've got 5 minutes of normal time remaining. Liverpool lead by 1-0. They're attacking the Anfield Road end. They've got a corner kick in front of the away support on this near side, the left. Felix Valle, the referee, has spotted a little pushing and shoving. Might be between the two Dutchmen. Bakker, who's actually got his back to where this corner's going to come from, looking at Nunez and Van Dijk. In it comes now, and the goalkeeper gets both hands on that, punches it away. Gravenberch's downward header, slice clear up towards David, almost stands on the ball, caught in possession. Szoboszlai will shoot from distance. 25 yards out, right-footed, dragged it wide of the left-hand post. Goal kick. Liverpool still lead 1-0.
Yeah, and he apologises straight away to Mohamed Salah because there was a simple pass into Mohamed Salah and Salah would have been in at goal. It was a really good sort of passage of play from Liverpool again, pressing. Curtis Jones has gone down again. I actually saw the replay of that incident, Deno. He did the splits, so it wasn't a tackle or a blow to the nether regions. He actually overstretched himself, and as that free kick was coming in that Liverpool broke from, you actually saw him again stretching his groin. He has had a little bit of an issue with it. It did look like a little bit of an issue for him.
Well, this will be a concern for Arne Slot, who made the 4 changes from the team that beat Brentford at the weekend. The 2 physios are on, tending to Curtis Jones, who sat down just the other side of the halfway line here on BBC Radio 5 Live at the moment. And also an opportunity for Bruno Genesio to get some instructions across to some of his Lille players. Szoboszlai has a little wander across. He's talking to the Liverpool coaching staff down below. But Curtis Jones, I would imagine if there's any sort of a risk, they'll just say bring him off.
Yeah, they won't take that chance. They'll make sure that he's fit for the next few games. But Deno, can I give you my Lille team of players who are still playing that they have sold in the past?
Okay, go on.
So they've got Magnon at AC Milan.
Yes.
They've got Lenny Yoro at Manchester United. Sven Botman, Gabriel of Arsenal, Lucas Digne. They've also got Nicolas Pepe, who they sold to Arsenal. They've got Dimitri Payet, who's still playing. Yves Bissouma, Anana at Aston Villa, Idrissa Gana Gueye at Everton, Origi, Rafael Leao, Victor Osimhen. What a list of players that is. I mean, you think if you had sell-on clauses in that, what that would be worth to a football club like this.
Yeah.
I mean, that is phenomenal. So, are we going to see some of these players? Because I look at Jonathan David and think, he will be getting a move at some point. I mean, he is a talent, really is. I know he's been caught on the ball a couple of times, but he's shown some lovely touches tonight.
Curtis Jones is back on the field of play. You should send that into the BBC Sport website. They could put that on the live text. They'd quite like that. Yeah. Do a little graphic on it.
I enjoyed that one. When I was looking at it, I was thinking some of the players they've had, and obviously they've had Eden Hazard as well, but he's not playing anymore. It's an incredible list.
Well, in fact, I remember doing the game when they last met in the Europa League in 2010. Jones is back on the field of play. Macau caught in possession. I covered the game, as did Gary Flintoff, our producer. He was working for Radio Merseyside, I think, at the time. I presume that's correct, yeah. And Eden Hazard scored. Liverpool lost by 1-0, but they also had Yohan Cabaye and Aubameyang. Yeah,
Aubameyang's on my list there as well.
Yeah. So
I ran out of time, Deno. There was that many on the list.
Oh, that's Trebia for the
so also the other one who's in there is Baleba, who's now at Brighton.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Just over 60 seconds to go to half-time. And this is Cabella infield to Macau. Mandy, the right back, short dark hair, out towards Bakker. On this near side, the right, left-footed cross comes in, cut out by Szoboszlai. Diaz looks for the ball over the top. Oh, what an instant touch that was by Salah. He holds off Goodmanson. Salah coming forward. Oh, that would have been a quality goal. Instead, left-footed, he just rolls it wide of the left-hand post. But the first touch was just sumptuous. And then to hold, so you had the style and the silky touch, and then you had the strength to hold off Gudmundsson. That would have been a brilliant goal.
It's incredible, because the first thing I'm watching is not the first touch. I'm watching how he's already held off the defender. We'll come back to it.
Salah forward ball, Curtis Jones, edge of the area, snuffed out by Gudmundsson. That was exquisite.
It was incredible, because as the ball's switching, Gudmundsson's on the wrong side of Mohamed Salah, and he just puts his arm out. I mean, what's Mohamed Salah? 5'6", I think he is, roughly 5'7". I mean, he's only dainty, but then the strength, the upper body strength to hold him off, it's quite brilliant from Salah. I think Curtis Jones is going to come off. I don't think he's happy at all. He went to close down. He doesn't look comfortable at all, and why take that gamble? The only thing is that we're virtually at half-time.
We're going to have 2 minutes, which we're now into, 2 minutes of additional time. PSV have got a third goal in Belgrade. Red Star 0, PSV 3. The way it's looking, by the time Liverpool go to the Netherlands next week, their place in the top 2 will be assured. And then all of a sudden as well, you can start planning where Liverpool could potentially face in the last 16, because they will face a team that will either be 15th, 16th, 17th or 18th in the league phase, because of the way it's going to work. Salah's ball in towards Bradley, powers on ahead of him. Chevalier comes off his goal line, dives at the feet of the Northern Ireland international, and brings the ball to the edge of his penalty area. They have had promising moments, Lille, but it's also got to be said that Alisson's goal has never really been under threat other than that flashed effort from Gudmundsson.
Yeah, there hasn't been enough, and for all the pressing and they're playing their way out of a press as well, they haven't really created anything of note. And you have to say Liverpool have grown into this game, got stronger as the half's gone on, and started to ask more questions of this Lille team.
8 o'clock kick on in the Championship. Cardiff City have reduced the arrears. Millwall 2, Cardiff City 1. 5 Live, Radio Merseyside, also available on the BBC Sounds app, where Liverpool lead by 1-0. We're in stoppage time here at Anfield. Lille are attacking the Kop. Haraldson collects the ball from Bakker, and then he's gone for a dive there. I think he's more annoyed that he actually fell over when it was a promising situation again from that ball in from Bakker's diagonal ball. Simicast's clearance charge down, falls this towards Cabella, stubs it forward. Haraldson unable to get there first because of the alert defending by Simicast to clatter the ball away. Back it goes to Andre on this near side, plays it down the line, right touch line. This is Bakker, looks for a ball in round the back. Haraldson is there, Haraldson with a cross, Konsa there first. David had just dropped off to find a bit of space away from the central defenders. It went to the edge of the edge of the 6-yard box, easily cleared. Yeah,
it was easily cleared, but lovely movement from David, really smart. But I've got to say, I like Bakker. I do. I think he's a smart player, the way he plays, good defensively, but also his passing range is extremely good, and he's always looking to pass the ball forward and be positive whenever he's on it.
Cross from Mandy is going to drift behind and into the Kop for a goal kick. He's actually on loan from Atalanta as the Dutch defender, Michel Bakker. He's 24 years of age. He played 20 appearances for the Italian side last season. He was on the bench in the Europa League win, formerly of Paris Saint-Germain and Bayer Leverkusen, and enjoying this current loan spell in France as the half-time whistle sounds and Liverpool lead by 1-0. Your thoughts, Stephen?
Yeah, I think Liverpool have grown into the game. They've got better as the half's gone on. I think they showed a lot of respect to Lille, and then almost too much, and it was good from Lille early on in the game. They pressed Liverpool high, they made it difficult for them to get out, but then a few long balls over the top has just opened up the press from Lille. It's just made it a little bit more difficult for them, so a lot of variation in Liverpool's play, and then obviously that very vital goal from Mohamed Salah.
That's the voice of Stephen Warnock as Atletico Madrid, remember, down to 10 men, have conceded. Atletico Madrid 0, Bayer Leverkusen 1. But half-time in the Champions League at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Lille 0.
Ian Dennis and Stephen Warnock at Anfield for us. Stephen, I know you were talking about the way that Liverpool have grown into this game against Lille, but I'm watching Mohamed Salah, and even when he missed that chance at the end of the first half, he's lying down and he's smiling and he's laughing, and he's been a player that has had maybe not criticism for his performances, but hasn't looked at his sparkling best over the past couple of games. But he looks like he's really enjoying this one, or certainly has grown into it.
Yeah, I think there's always been a smile on his face, to be honest with you, Kelly. I think there's just that belief within himself. If he doesn't score one opportunity, there'll be another one for him, and that's totally understandable. And it's just a self-belief within himself that he's going to score the next one, and I think that's what makes him so dangerous. If I was playing against him, I'd think, I'm doing okay against him here, and then I look up and see him smile and I think, oh wow, what's going on, what's he thinking, what's in his mindset? And I think that's the elite mindset of a player of his calibre.
Stephen and Ian will be back with you for the second half of Liverpool against Lille. Liverpool with a 1-0 lead as things stand, and we'll be back there with the team very shortly. John Bennett is across everything else that's happening in the Champions League this evening. What are the highlights, John?
Well, Wojciech Szczesny, the former Arsenal goalkeeper, Kelly, is having an absolute nightmare for Barcelona. It's Benfica 3, second place Barcelona 1. 2 mistakes from Szczesny. First, he came out to claim a long ball when it was 1-1, clattered into his teammate Balde, and Pavlidis scored into an open net. Then he flew out again and challenged Aktoglu in the penalty area, gave away a penalty, and Pavlidis completed his hat-trick. It's a really open game, 3-1 to Benfica. They're still playing, just coming up to half-time. Also just coming up to half-time in the Atletico Madrid-Bayer Leverkusen game, and Bayer Leverkusen 1-0 up, Hincapi with the header just before the break. Atletico Madrid down to 10 men. Barrios sent off for a studs-up challenge. Under pressure, Borussia Dortmund leading against Bologna. They will be third as it stands. The goal from Seru Guirassy, a Panenka penalty. Club Brugge 0, Juventus 0. Juve can't stop drawing this season. Slovan Bratislava 0, Stuttgart 2. So Stuttgart giving themselves a chance of getting into the top 24. And Red Star Belgrade 0, PSV Eindhoven 3. 2 goals for Luc de Jong. PSV Eindhoven 17th as it stands.
Thank you very much for that, John. There's been another goal at Swansea. Molly Stevens.
There has Swansea 1, Sheffield United 1. Former Swan Rhian Brewster, who puts the Blades ahead. Chris Wilder started the half with a triple substitution. He looked fuming at the break. The impact he wanted has happened. Game on. Swansea 1, Sheffield United 1.
Thank you very much for that. Just to bring you up to date with what's been happening in the Championship this evening, it's Blackburn 0, Coventry 2, Derby 0, Sunderland 1, Hull 0, QPR 0, Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 0, Oxford 1, Luton 2, Watford 0, Preston 1, Millwall lead Cardiff by 2 goals to 1. That one kicked off at 8 o'clock. In League 1, it's Bolton 0, Charlton 0, Peterborough 1, Exeter 0, Wigan 1, Burton 1, and in League 2, it's Fleetwood Town 1, MK Dons 0 and Harrogate 0, Colchester United 0. Reaction from this evening's earlier game, and we'll head to Paris soon to look ahead to tomorrow's big match between PSG and Manchester City. But first, let's get the latest BBC News with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, says there was a complete failure to identify the terrible danger of the teenager who murdered 3 girls in Southport. Axel Rudakabana was known for being violent and had been referred to the anti-extremism programme Prevent 3 times. He was also able to buy the knife he used in the attack online despite only being 17. Lord Carlisle is a former independent reviewer of terrorism legislation.
The nature of terrorism has changed over the last 20-odd years. Now we're dealing with a completely different situation in which people are being radicalised, often as the Prime Minister described, lonely young men in their bedrooms, by online sources, and there is insufficient control of those online sources.
There's a day of national mourning in Turkey after at least 76 people died in a fire at a hotel in a ski resort. It happened at the Grand Kartal in Bolu. 4 people have been arrested, including the hotel's owner. The police officer who was on duty when supporters of Donald Trump stormed the US Capitol 4 years ago says the decision to pardon them is a slap in the face. The executive order, signed just hours after President Trump took office again, will see more than 1,500 people pardoned. Several leaders of far-right groups who planned the attack are also being released early from their jail sentences. Winston Pingen has now left the Washington police force.
I was punched in the face, knocked on my back, pepper sprayed, nearly stabbed by a flagpole. It's just devastating to me, and I'm sure for fellow officers. I fear, what does this mean, not just for me, but for other law enforcement and other Americans? Do you really want these violent criminals returning to your neighborhoods?
The United Nations insists the global shift to renewable energy is unstoppable after Donald Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement for a second time. The president says he wants to expand drilling for oil and gas. And Hertfordshire police say a teenager has been arrested on suspicion of malicious communications following online abuse of the Arsenal striker Kai Havertz and his wife. The 17-year-old from St Albans has been bailed while inquiries continue.
Hello and welcome to a very special Football Daily with me, Gary Lineker. Brentford manager Thomas Frank is popping round to my house for a spot of dinner.
I eat everything, but I love fish.
Good.
Fantastic.
Took a chance.
I always wanted to play offensive football and we started last season, but we played all systems in the 6 years. It's a combination of what's best for the players we got. We have this style, but what kind of players, because I can't pick all the best players in the world, but also to keep developing the team.
In Focus on the Football Daily.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport.
The Champions League with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
There's been a red card at Swansea. Molly Stevens.
Yeah, it goes from bad to worse for Swansea City. Moments after conceding the equaliser, Harry Darling has given his marching orders a straight red for a foul on the goal scorer, Rhian Brewster. The home side will play at least 40 minutes with 10 men. Swansea 1, Sheffield United 1.
Second half commentary of Liverpool against Lille coming up from the Champions League very shortly. The home side are 1-0 up thanks to Mo Salah. Earlier this evening, Aston Villa's hopes of automatic qualification for the round of 16 took a dent. They were beaten 1-0 away at Monaco. The defeat means that Unai Emery's side will likely need to beat Celtic at Villa Park next Wednesday to seal a top 8 place in the league phase of the competition.
I think we play 70 minutes like I want. Of course, if we want to be there in this level, we have to try to score those options, those chances we had. The last 25 minutes, when we were playing with 2 strikers, we lost a little bit our positioning. And we weren't threatening them like the first 70 minutes. That is how I want to build the team, with the mentality I want. And of course, someone, they are not following the plan we are doing. And this is the objective I have as well now. Try to build the team as stronger as possible. With the mentality, we are building progressively, getting better with the players. And of course, I am very happy with a lot of players. And today, especially with Emiliano Buendia, because he is with the option to leave, but today we needed him, and he played fantastic with his qualities, fantastic with his mentality, and fantastic with his commitment with the squad.
The move for Emiliano Buendia that Unai Emery referenced there is a move to Leeds United, which he's been strongly linked with. We've got another huge match commentary in the Champions League group stages for you tomorrow night, 5 Live and BBC Sounds, or the league stage, I suppose you would say. Manchester City at Paris Saint-Germain from 8 o'clock. Big game for both teams. They're fighting for a spot in the playoffs to make the knockout stages. Manchester City have 8 points after 6 group matches. Paris Saint-Germain outside the playoffs by a point. They just have 7 points. John Murray and Matthew Upson are in Paris and they join us from Un Petit Restaurant. Good evening. Bonsoir,
Good evening.
John Murray.
Bonsoir, Kelly. How are you?
I'm very well indeed, thank you. Look, I'm probably a lot less nervous than I would be if I had any connection to Manchester City or Paris Saint-Germain, because this game is huge, but maybe not for the reasons we would have expected at the start of the season.
Absolutely right. And whatever UEFA's hopes were of what this new Champions League format might throw up and provide for us, and yes, one of the things was to be less predictable, I'm sure it wasn't that the champions of France and England would be scrambling to avoid elimination. And as I suspect you've already mentioned tonight, Manchester City are now just above the elimination places. So with the results as they are tonight, with the scores as they are tonight, Manchester City in 24th and Paris Saint-Germain 2 places below them in 26th. So it is there is a great deal at stake on this match tonight. And yes, Manchester City have got a match next week at home against Club Brugge, the Belgian champions, and PSG have got to go away to Stuttgart for their last group match next week as well. So whatever happens here tonight, tomorrow night, if there's a loser, then they are going to be under severe pressure.
Yeah, and I suppose as much as anything, Matt, for Manchester City, it's about building on that little bit of a momentum that they've managed to build up. It's not just the fact that, you know, they've had a couple of decent results, and I know the two goals against Brentford will sort of weigh against them that cost them a couple of points, but they had that big win against Ipswich. There's the huge Erling Haaland contract that he's signed, and they've had a busy couple of days in the transfer market as well. They'll just want to carry on lifting themselves. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think they've had a lot going on, haven't they? And you mentioned the Brentford game, and I think that was quite interesting. I think there were some defensive frailties shown late on there, and I think you look at their Champions League, certainly last couple of away games, they've been a little bit loose, conceding a lot of goals, which is very unlike them as a unit. You know, they normally really suffocate and control the balls so well, and then out of possession they've got that lovely press where they go after it, and it's just been disjointed. But I think you're right, Kelly, in the sense that they're making changes. They're trying to bring new players in, maybe sharpen up the squad, keep people on their toes, freshen it up a little bit. And it has that feel that they've turned that disastrous corner. I mean, they were in such an awful run come their last Champions League fixture. You feel they have moved on and they're in a better place now.
And you could forgive Erling Haaland for having had a few sleepless nights as he thrashes out the kind of finer details of that contract. But he's look, it's not. It goes from good to better or brilliant to better for Erling Haaland. But it's still just a very clunky way of getting into the fact that he's been talking about the fact, John, that he's been working on his sleep this season.
Yes, that's right. Interesting to hear him speak to us tonight about how it all came to be, and he said Erling Haaland that he was convinced it was the right thing to do. He said when he talked with the people around him, he said it just felt really good to get this contract to 2034, unsurprisingly. And he said part of it was that Manchester feels like home to him. He said his family are happy there, and also, questions were asked to him about, with the 115 charges hanging over Manchester City, whether that made it a more difficult decision for him. But he said there, he didn't want to speak too much about it, but he said, quote, he was confident the club know what they're doing.
Yeah, and they do look as though they know what they're doing at the moment. This game coming up against PSG, though, as we've said, Matt, is going to be difficult. What kind of PSG are they coming up against? If Manchester City have been underperforming, then so too have the French champions. So what kind of form are they in coming into this one?
I mean, they're in okay form, Kelly. I think they concede a lot of goals. They do not keep a lot of clean sheets. That's one thing about them. I think defensively they've been struggling, but such is the competitiveness of Ligue 1, I feel that they're really almost coasting to a title. They've got a significant gap between first and second. They haven't been playing particularly well, but they've been doing enough. They've got really good attacking threat, but I feel defensively, and certainly through the centre of the midfield, where Manchester City really can control, that I think they're going to have too much for them. And also just the intensity of that league, certainly out of possession, how hard they're going to work to win the ball back from City. I don't think they get challenged maybe quite enough week in, week out, to when they step to this Champions League level. I think it's very difficult for them to compete with the top teams.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, John. Enjoy Paris.
Thank you.
Cheers, Kelly.
Merci.
Not too tricky to do. Commentary of that crucial Champions League match between PSG and Manchester City is from 8 o'clock tomorrow night on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Let's, before we head back to Anfield, check in on the game between Derby and Sunderland with Charlie Slater.
Hour gone, Derby 0, Sunderland 1, but Derby are finally having a go in this game. Nathaniel Mendes-Lang had one block from 10 yards. They've just made a triple change, including introducing Lars-Jørgen Salverson, who has come off the bench to make his debut, just joined this month. Big expectations of him, still losing by a goal to 0 though.
Charlie, thank you very much. And they're making changes at Anfield, or rather Arne Slot is, for Liverpool against Lille. We can rejoin Stephen Warnock and Ian Dennis.
Perfect timing, Kelly, as we're back underway. Liverpool leading Lille by a goal to 0, and you're right, those changes that Arne Slot has made, he's made two. McAllister coming on for Gravenberch, and Harvey Elliott replacing Curtis Jones, who, if you were with us in the towards the end of the first half, you'd have gathered that he wasn't fully fit after maybe tweaking an injury So Jones is off, so Alisson is in goal, a back four of Bradley, Van Dijk, Quansah and Tsimikas, Szoboszlai, McAllister and Elliott the midfield, Salah, Nunez and Diaz are the front three. Liverpool all in red, leading by a goal to nil, playing from left to right as we look, they're attacking the Kop. Lille all in white, haven't made any changes, Chevalier is in goal, it's a back four of Mandy, Diakate, Alexandro and Gudmundsson, a midfield of Baka, Mukau, Andre and Cabella, with Haraldson and David up front. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, I think it's the interesting one is the Gravenberch change, whether that was forced upon, whether it was something that they looked at before the game and said a half each. But there was a moment in the first half where I saw him sort of flicking his ankle, and it was almost like he was worrying about his Achilles or his ankle, so hopefully it's not that, and that was just something that I picked up on, but I'm sure the Liverpool fans will be quite concerned about that.
Oxford United 2, Luton Town 2 is the latest score in the Championship. Also in that division, Preston North End have got a second goal at Watford 0, Preston North End 2. Liverpool meanwhile are breaking. Salah enters the penalty area, inside right channel and left-footed, tries to roll it into that far corner. He did actually have two players in Szoboszlai and Diaz who were also waiting for the pass. Wigan 1, Burton Albion 2 in League One, and Bolton Wanderers are leading Charlton by a goal to nil also in League One. Stephen.
Disappointing for Mohamed Salah. They had a 5-on-2 there, Liverpool, and Salah was far too greedy, and I just feel that a couple of weeks ago that would have been a simple pass and it would have been an assist, but he just wants to get them numbers back up again. A little bit selfish from him there. Should have done better. Oh, that's not a foul. That is not a foul. Your assistant referee's got to do more there as McAllister comes across and makes the challenge on Gudmundsson. The referee he's bought that one from the defender.
Well, it's Lille who are going to leave it. Gudmundsson's going to just leave this for Alexandro to take it. The French side, who are still trailing by a goal to nil. The last team to win 6 in a row and keep a clean sheet in each of those games as well in European Cup / Champions League was Leeds United in 69-70, and that is exactly what Liverpool are looking to emulate here this evening. Incredible to think that they've only conceded the one goal. Favourites for the Champions League, best defensive record in the Champions League, and the only team with that 100% winning record. And you can see why, because they've had an element of control through the majority of the game so far.
I think they've controlled it extremely well. I think back to the last couple of games that Liverpool have played, and they've afforded opportunities to the opposition. Tonight they haven't done that because of their organisation. Nunez is through.
Long ball from the back. Nunez makes the run. Flag stays down, ball in field. Elliott on the stretch, couldn't get there. Diakate steps out of defence, his forward ball to David, lays it off towards Haraldson. He's changed his boots as the Icelandic international. He had bright orange boots on in the first half. He's now got a sky blue pair on as the young Scandinavian. Hull City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1 is a latest score. They've won their last 3, QPR. And Hull City, who are just outside the relegation zone, that will be a concern for them in the Championship. We're live on Radio Merseyside tonight. 5 Live final score on the red button, the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website and app. We'll also keep you in touch with the goals as they go in on a busy night in Europe and also domestically. Gudmundsson with a volleyed ball forward. Cabella easily brushed off the ball by Bradley, and then McAllister back to Quansah. 5 minutes into the second half, still the Lille supporters undaunted, making plenty of noise in that end away towards our left. Szoboszlai almost gave it to Haraldson. Back it goes towards Van Dijk, just brushes away the Lille player, and then they play it up towards Diaz, who drops midway through his own half and then crosses the ball out to this near side. Off the top of the head, another header down by Bradley. Salah is up with him. And then Bradley waits and McAllister lifts it forward towards Diaz. Hook clear by Alexandro. Bouncing ball, Szoboszlai heads it towards Elliott. Off the chest, runs forward, plays it out towards Salah. Level with the penalty area right hand side. Salah faced by 3 white shirts. Keeps the ball and back towards Bradley. And Liverpool still lead by a goal to nil as we go to Derby and Charlie Slater.
We've played 65 minutes, but Derby knocking at the door now. Jorgen Salberson off the bench, nearly scored with his first ever touch as a Derby player. A header brilliantly saved by Patterson. Derby 0, Sunderland 1.
Liverpool lead by 1-0, and they've won each of their last 21 when they've scored the first goal. All 13 in the Premier League this season. As Tsimikas on that far side, Arne Slot watching on, arms and his hands inside his trouser pockets, looking very relaxed and calm. In recent games, he's had to call for his substitutes to make an impact. He might not necessarily need that tonight, as Diaz looks for Nunez through the middle, and Chevalier was quickly outside of his penalty area to hurriedly clear it right-footed out of play for a throw.
Beautiful from Diaz as he drifts in off that left-hand side. Control with the outside of the boot, and then he just tries to find Darwin Nunez, who'd split the central defenders. Lovely run, but the pass was just too heavy for him. Luis Diaz just couldn't compose himself, couldn't slow himself down to take the pace out the pass.
The voice of Stephen Warnock, the former England international and Liverpool defender, here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Tsimikas barged over by Bakker. Referee will give a free kick. We've got time to squeeze in an update from Molly at Swansea.
Yeah, and we've had a penalty, and it's just been scored by Harrison Burrows. Sheffield United have taken the lead. It's Swansea 1, Sheffield United 2, and it's a mountain to climb now for Swansea City, who are down to 10.
Swansea City down to 10 men. Sheffield United going top. It'll be 2 points clear of Leeds United after that penalty midway through the second half in South Wales. Thank you, Molly. 7 minutes into the second half, 5 Live. Liverpool lead Lille by 1-0, the second of 3 commentaries in the Champions League today and tomorrow. Earlier, Monaco 1, Aston Villa 0, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City tomorrow night. As Tsimikas waits to take this free kick, left-footed, so inviting, and then headed over the top Quansah. That was a delightful ball in. They were making a run for it, and Quansah, I think it came off his shoulder, couldn't get over it.
Yeah, he doesn't get the contact he wants, does he? A little shove in the back of Diakite. Might have been given as a foul if it had gone to VAR, but just brushes off his shoulder and over the bar. But as you say, the delivery from Kostas Tsimikas was absolutely on the money.
Oxford United 3, Luton Town 2 is the latest score in the Championship. You're up to date. Van Dijk comes across, deals with the threat of Haraldsson on that far side, and the ball is back with Quansah, and plays it across towards Bradley. Lets it come across his body. Cabella was running towards him. Salah and Bradley combine. Elliott was quickly closed down by Alexandro, and out of play it goes for a throw to Liverpool that they'll be in no real hurry to take on the halfway line.
I like Alessandro. I think he's a good player. I think he's aggressive in his defending when he steps in. Make sure that people don't turn. He's quick as well. Decent on the ball. Another potentially off the production line at Lille.
Joined in 2022, the Brazilian, you say, is aggressive. He's picked up 9 yellow cards so far this season, as Fleetwood Town have got a second goal at home to MK Dons in League 2. Fleetwood 2, MK Dons 0. This is the Champions League. We're 9 minutes into the second half, and Liverpool still lead by 1-0. That Mo Salah goal that he took so well with his first touch, sending it goalwards into the back of the net 11 minutes before half-time. Haraldsson finds some space, lifts it forward, and that's going to go too far ahead, and it's scooped up by Alisson, as QPR have got a second goal at Hull City in the Championship. Hull City 0, QPR 2, and PSV are down to 10 as they lead at Red Star by 3-0. Red Star 0, PSV 3, but Ryan Flamingo, who's actually been on the score sheet, will be suspended and will miss the Liverpool game next week as a result of that. But Liverpool's work will be done as it currently stands, as Nunez helping out, gets the ball towards Diaz. Diaz held up there by Mukau. Over the halfway line he goes. Liverpool all in red, playing from left to right as we look. 10 minutes into the second half. Szoboszlai searching diagonal ball out to this near side. Salah again brings it quickly under control, shuffles the ball forward, links up with Elliott, nudges the ball back. McAllister 30 yards out from goal. Szoboszlai, the referee, almost gets in the way. Forward ball, Salah in a central area, plays it in low, and it's away from Nunez and saved by Chevalier. Liverpool still have a slender advantage.
Yeah, they're just dominating possession, aren't they, Liverpool? Every time that they go forward, they're just trying to pick that perfect pass. I think sometimes it just needs someone to unleash a shot from 20-25 yards or on the edge of the box. Mohamed Salah there, he's just getting in some really clever positions.
Here is Haraldson, Icelandic international. Backer's misplaced pass goes straight to Nunez. Nunez forward ball towards Salah. Goodmanson did enough just to get his left foot around Salah to break up the move. And now it's with Alexandro, who goes to ground, gets quickly back to his feet under a challenge from McAllister. And Liverpool snuff out the attempted run of the Lille central defender.
I think he thought he was showboating then, didn't he? He tried a couple of tricks and then McAllister didn't fall for it at all. It's interesting when you watch McAllister, and we so often talk about McAllister as being a player who will control possession for you. The amount of balls that he turns over in possession, that he just pinches off toes or he's strong in the challenge, is quite incredible for his stature.
I would think an Argentine going in for a strong challenge on Brazilian was one that McAllister would relish, as here is Salah for Liverpool attacking the Kop end. Elliott to Bradley, and the cross comes shot. In the end it was more of a shot, went rising over the crossbar and out for a goal kick, and Liverpool still lead 1-0.
He's furious with himself, Conor Bradley, because they've worked it so well. Lovely little touch from Harvey Elliott. He saw the overlapping run of Bradley, and then it was just a little pullback. That's all it needed. And you had two players wanting a little tap in. It was Darwin Nunez and it was also Diaz, and with an opportunity with it would have been a simple pass into the goal. He just couldn't compose himself at the final stages.
Atletico Madrid, who are down to 10 men, remember, have equalised at home to Bayer Leverkusen. Atletico Madrid 1, Bayer Leverkusen 1. This is a Lille side that went to Atletico and won by 3-1. They were defended very, very stoutly in the first half, stayed in the game, and then came up and scored 3 second-half goals. As here is Nunez, good block by the goalkeeper. Chevalier quickly off his goal line. Lille, it's got to be said, remain in the game whilst the deficit is just the 1 goal. Here is Goodmanson, but Liverpool working so hard to quickly close down the left back midway through his own half.
Yeah, what did Chevalier do there? He just came out and made the angle so small for Darwin Nunez, and then he tries to lift it, but credit to the goalkeeper because he doesn't go down too early, stays big enough and then deflects it with his knee. Smart save from the goalkeeper, and probably a vital save at this point in time in the game, just coming up to 60 minutes now.
Liverpool have had a couple of chances in this second half to increase their lead as the Liverpool supporters ramp up the atmosphere here inside Anfield. 5 Live and BBC Sounds leading by a goal to 0, looking to go to 21 points, and with Barcelona trailing, they will be opening up a 6-point lead at the top.
He's gone. Mandy's gone.
Mandy has been sent off, a second yellow card. Mandy booked in the first half just before the hour, and now they do have a tall order because Issa Mandy, who was sent off against Fenerbahce in August, has received his marching orders again, and Lille are down to 10 before the hour.
Well, he's very unlucky because of the ball from Harvey Elliott and the run of Diaz are quite brilliant. He gets inside him, he just puts his left leg out and he takes Diaz down. He's got no other option because Diaz is running through at goal. It's a cynical foul, a cynical second yellow, but it's probably one that he had to make because Diaz would have been through at goal. And now it's an uphill task for Lille, 10 men.
They're going to have to do a little bit of adjusting in their back line as the right back has gone off. Simicast sends over the cross. McAllister with a header. It brushed the roof of the net as it went into the Kop, but it's behind for a goal kick. Liverpool still lead by a goal to 0. Bakker is the player that is going to fill in at right back. Mitchell Bakker, the Dutch defender. But asking a lot now for Lille.
Yeah, it looks like Meunier is going to come on in that right back position. He's that player who'll fit into that seamlessly. It's just who he takes off in the forward areas now. But that was a delightful ball again from Kostas Tsimikas into McAllister. Lovely header, just again a bit too much purchase on it over the bar.
Thomas Meunier, the Belgian international defender, he arrived in the summer, formerly of Bruges, Paris Saint-Germain and Dortmund. He waits to come on. In fact, it's going to be a double change being made by their coach Bruno Genesio for Lille, as the Liverpool supporters create the noise, and the red and white scarves of Liverpool this time are being swirled around their head. In fact, some of their Lille counterparts will actually replicate that as well. So in all areas of Anfield, you've got red and white scarves being swirled around the ground. But it's Liverpool who are leading 1-0. And it is going to be Sahraoui who's going to be the other player coming on. He's a Moroccan international midfielder, joined in the summer from Heerenveen, previously at Balarenga. So that's the double change that they are going to make as they have to cope with this final half hour. Down to 10. Liverpool still lead.
Looks like Liverpool are going to make a change as well. Looks like Endo's getting ready. So I wonder that that'll be Szoboszlai who leaves that midfield area, or whether it might actually be. He's played so many games at centre-back recently.
Goodmanson with a cut back, shot by Haraldson, might fall to David. Lille have got an equaliser. Liverpool have finally conceded in the Champions League. First time since match day 1, and absolutely out of nothing. Lille through their prolific striker Jonathan David. The 10 men are level, 1-1.
Well, we didn't see that coming at all. They haven't offered anything in this second half. They've just found themselves down to 10 men. But it's a simple cutback. Think of the goals that they conceded, or the goal that they conceded against Manchester United when Diallo scored the second goal. Ahmed Diallo, he got himself in at that back post and he slotted it. Well, this time it's blocked by Tsimikas and it falls to Jonathan David, and he's so clinical when it comes to him. Lashes it into the top corner of the net. Poor defending from Liverpool. Bradley beaten down the right-hand side, but no one picking up the man on the edge of the box who had the shot, which was Haraldson.
Well, by my calculations, I reckon that is just shy of 10 hours for the first time that Liverpool have conceded in the Champions League. 9 hours and 59 minutes to be precise. So whilst Liverpool wait to make that change, they're coming on Meunier. Cabella is going to be going off as well, the former Newcastle player Remy Cabella, now at 34 years of age, and Baka is the other player coming off. So Meunier will place Mitchell Baka, and then that means that Sahraoui comes on for Cabella, and then the Liverpool change with Endo coming on is Szoboszlai, who's gone off. So Wataru Endo is on, Szoboszlai is off, and we're 1-1.
Yeah, I think it just gives Arne Slot an opportunity to rotate those midfielders. Perhaps it's been pre-planned to do that, ready for a couple of games coming up against Ipswich and then against PSV and Bournemouth. Tough run of fixtures for Liverpool. After the Ipswich game, you'd expect them to perhaps win that game at Anfield at the weekend, but then the two other games are quite difficult.
Bolton 1, Charlton 1 is the latest score in League One. Derby 0, Sunderland 2 in the Championship. You're up to date with the goals as they go in. 64 minutes played. Liverpool's winning run in the Champions League could be coming to an end against this Lille side that will still harbour hopes of progressing into the knockout stages for just the third time in their history in the Champions League. Let's get to Charlie Slater for that goal.
Well, where Sunderland thought they doubled their lead, in fact everybody did. Isidore scored and a good 30 to 40 seconds went by before finally they disallowed it for own goal. No VAR here, complete mystery. Derby fans were getting up and going home, they've gone and sat back down. Still Derby 0, Sunderland 1.
It could still be a fifth straight defeat though for Derby County in the Championship. So just to reiterate, that is still Derby 0, Sunderland 1 as a latest score in the Championship. 65 minutes played in the Champions League. Liverpool 1, Lille 1. And Jonathan David with his 18th goal of the season. He was prolific for Genk. He scored 37 goals in his 83 appearances for the Belgian side. And that's now 102 goals in 213 appearances since he moved to Lille. He wasn't going to miss that sort of opportunity, was he?
No, we spoke before in the game about it and said if he gets one opportunity, he'll have to try and take it because he won't get that many opportunities. Well, he's had one and he's scored one. And what a great finishing it was as well. Made sure that Alisson didn't stand a chance of getting anywhere near it. Very clinical from him.
Well, that was a mistake by Diakate. Here is Elliott with his back to goal. Back to Endo coming forward for Liverpool. 1-1 out to this near side. Bradley, 65 minutes played. Salah, who had given Liverpool the lead. Also for Jonathan David, it ends his worst spell in front of goal this season. He had gone 7 without finding the back of the net, but that 18th of the season has changed all of that. Van Dijk, the white shirts drop off. They'll certainly take a point given the circumstances. Luis Diaz in field. Elliott, that's a sharp turn, can't get a shooting opportunity. Plays it out towards Tsimikas, left-hand side of the penalty area. Back towards McAllister, in field. Elliott rolls it back towards Tsimikas. Temperature dropping on Merseyside. Low ball played in, takes a deflection, cleared on the half volley, up in the air by Sahrawi. Fleetwood 2, MK Dons 1. Middlesbrough, they've got a second goal against West Bromwich Albion at the Riverside, and it's Ben Doak, who's on loan from Liverpool, who's got that goal. Middlesbrough 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. Liverpool attacking. Tsimikas. Elliott, 30 yards out from goal, rolls it back towards Tsimikas, just from the byline. His cross, headed behind by Mounier. Liverpool have a corner in front of the Kop. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, his delivery's been exceptional tonight from set pieces. Kostas Tsimikas down that left-hand side. This time he hits the near post. Not the quality that we've seen from him so far, but now he's got the opportunity from a corner on that left-hand side.
Approaching the midway point of the second half, 1-1 on 5 Live. Tsimikas to take it far side the left, and it comes now, headed out by David, comes towards Elliott! Elliott down into the ground, left-footed, and Liverpool are back in front. Must have taken a deflection, because the goalkeeper was completely flat-footed. Liverpool won't care about that. They're back in front, and the winning run they will continue. 2-1.
Well, he had a huge impact off the bench against Brentford at the weekend. Came on and provided for Darwin Núñez with the second goal. He had a hand in the first goal, and this one he gets a strike on the edge of the box. I said before they might need to start taking more long-range shots, and he hits it from roughly about 20 yards as it evades everyone in the box. It comes out to Harvey Elliott and he strikes it, and it takes a wicked deflection. I think it's off Macau into the bottom corner. It was going well wide. It is Macau. A wicked deflection off his left foot. Wrong foot's the goalkeeper. If we don't shoot, we don't score.
Well, it was hit with such force down into the ground, and as soon as Macau had made that little bit of leg movement, the young Belgian, the DR Congo international, it gave the keeper no chance.
Interestingly there, he's just ran off celebrating, almost with the talking gesture about him moving, and he's just gone absolutely not. He wants to fight for his place here. He said, and he spoke during the week, and he said, there's no way I'm leaving this football club. You stay and you fight for your place, and I'm going to work hard. And what a performance he's putting in, not only tonight but last week as well, because he's been positive since he's come off the bench tonight.
And he's also had, of course, a season not helped with that fractured ankle whilst he was away with England's under-21s in September. So this is only his 12th appearance of the season for Harvey Elliott, and he's just scored his second of the campaign. Benfica 3, Barcelona 2. Rafinha has got a goal back for Barcelona in Lisbon, as Lille down to 10 men with Sahrawi come forward. It'll be a goal kick. Hull City have got a goal back in the Championship. Hull City 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2. But 21 minutes remaining, and Liverpool are back in front.
Well, now it's about game management. It's about controlling this game and making sure that they don't give Lille opportunities. It's about making it a training ground exercise now and keeping the ball off them as much as they can. If they want to go for the kill, perhaps they can, but is there any need to when they've got themselves in front?
But in fairness, that Lille goal did come out absolutely out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did, and that's the concern when you're playing a team like Lille, because there is quality there. You know they've got a proven goal scorer.
Liverpool will look for more goals. Ball over the top. Mounier's header prevents it from reaching Diaz. Might come back towards Diaz. Diving header back by Andre. Alexandro, his legs gave way as he held off the challenge of Diaz from one side and Salah on the other, but Liverpool are not letting the tempo drop. They want to go for more goals. They want to secure the win with just over 20 minutes remaining. 2-1 they lead.
He's been Liverpool's best player tonight, Diaz, in the way that he's pressed, in the way that he's attacked. Every time he gets on the ball, he's tried to make things happen, being positive with his play, but also when he loses the ball, his reaction is incredible. He wants to go and hunt the ball down. It's infectious in the way that he does it as well.
Bologna have got an equaliser in the Champions League. Bologna won, Borussia Dortmund won, but Benfica are leading Barcelona now by 4-2, so a fourth goal for Benfica in Lisbon. Here is Endo coming forward, tries to thread it through, stopped by Alexandro, preventing it reaching Nunez. Meunier tucks in, the right back for the 10 men of Lille, tied it up by Benjamin Andre in the midfield. Diakate will pass the ball out wide. Haraldson now filling in at right back, forward towards Macau. They've got to try and patiently play their way through. That was a ball back to Alexandro, who chips it forward. Downward header by David towards Goodmanson. Sarawi now with Andre. Short ball towards Haraldson. McAllister breaks up the move. That's what Stephen Warnock was talking about. Diakate went in there. Could be in danger here, Diakate. Studs was showing.
Well, it's two-footed as well, left the ground. I think McAllister's fortunate that he sees the challenge coming. He tries to jump out of the way a bit. This is where now, when you see this challenge, and might see it on highlights, it's so dangerous, because if McAllister goes to try and win that ball, and the force in which he's moving Diakate, he causes a big problem. McAllister's very fortunate as he moves out the way.
The left leg of Diakate, studs showing, must have been around knee height.
It's incredible, and then he's got the cheek to say and turn around to the referee and said, I got the ball. You did with your right foot, but your left foot was nearly taking McAllister's knee off.
I don't think he was booked though.
No, he wasn't. Incredible.
Lille are going to be bringing on a couple of players as well. They're going to be making a change, looking to try and extend their new club record of 21 games unbeaten. Bologna 2, Borussia Dortmund 1. So Bologna have come from behind and are now leading the German side, who were 9th in this league of 36 teams before today's games.
Didn't John Bennett say that he might get sacked if they were to get beat?
Did he?
Yeah, he was saying that there's a lot of pressure on him, and he'd lost 3 games, and maybe it was if he loses this one, there could be talk he could go in the morning. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it, how many results you have to get in the game, and if you have a little bit of a bad patch, it's suddenly, you're a bad manager.
Well, Bologna, they need to win to keep their faint hopes alive of scraping their way into the playoffs. Certainly next Wednesday will be an interesting listen when all the games are being played on one single night, as here comes the double change, and Liverpool are going to be bringing on Chiesa as well. So another run out for Federico Chiesa, the Italian international. But meanwhile, the changes for Ismaili's going to be coming on one of them, and then the other change is Buadi, a midfielder. So Angel Gomez, the England international, I don't think is fully fit, might not be getting an appearance as well, as Buadi comes on, and Mukau and Goodmanson are the players who make way for that double change being made by the French side. And Chiesa comes on, and it is going to be Luis Diaz who is the player who's going to be going off. Stephen?
Yeah, really impressive performance from Luis Diaz. At the heart of everything good that Liverpool have created or tried to create. He's just a bundle of energy, isn't he? And he's infectious in the way that he plays, and the crowd react off him when he goes to close down. But he does need resting, because he puts a lot of energy into every single game, and he's going to be vitally important in Liverpool's run in February.
The thing is, they've got PSV next week. They've got the return leg against Tottenham in the League Cup semi-final. Then it's the rearranged Merseyside derby against Everton the week after. I mean, it's relentless, the schedule for Arne Slot's side. But Chiesa is on, and Luis Diaz goes off. BBC Radio Merseyside also with us here tonight on Radio 5 Live, where Liverpool lead by 2-1, and Red Star have got a goal back against the 10 men of PSV. Red Star 1, PSV is the latest score in the Champions League. A quarter of an hour remaining. And here is the floppy-haired figure of Ayoub Buadi. He's a 17-year-old French youth international who's come up through the academy. Ball lifted up now towards Ismaili, who's a Brazilian defender at 35 years of age. Certainly he was energetic with that run on this near side, the left, to get forward. And he now links up with Sahraoui as Lille look for a second equaliser of the night with 14 minutes remaining of normal time. Champions League highlights, of course, tomorrow on BBC One at 10:40. As Meunier forward on the right, early ball in, cut out by Van Dijk. And it will be kept in play by Chiesa. And all of a sudden there's Liverpool, but they've got a lot of white shirts back of Lille. Rolled down that left-hand side of the penalty area for Nunez. Enters the box, slows down, pulls it back. McAllister, little flick. Elliott on the stretch, can't get there. Sahraoui then runs into Endo and gives away a free kick. Direct free kick for Liverpool midway through the Lille half.
Yeah, clever play by Endo, making sure that he wins the free kick. And important that he doesn't allow Sahraoui to get away, because if he does, then a breaking at the back two of Liverpool, because they committed forward the full-backs. Really smart from Endo.
Liverpool 2, Lille 1. Stephen Warnock, the former Liverpool and England player, is with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Peterborough United 1, Exeter City 1. Exeter with an equaliser at London Road in injury time in League One.
Can I ask you a question?
You can. I'm not sure I'll give you the answer, but you can ask it.
No, before when you said the floppy herd, have you ever been called that before?
Yes, I have actually.
Did you used to have floppy hair?
I used to have floppy hair.
Yeah, I just wondered why you'd used that reference, so I thought it must have been used on you before at some point. You wanted to
and now I can
reuse it, recycle it.
And now I can only look down with envy. Although he is 17 years of age, I'd expect him to have floppy hair at 17. I had floppy hair when I was a lot past 17. Elliott, crossfield ball, Chiesa, beaten in the air by Meunier. Incidentally, Bruges 0, Juventus 0 is still a latest score. Bruges go to Manchester City next week, and Bruges would still have something to play for. And Juventus, incidentally, well, likewise, they're 15th in the table. Liverpool, as it stands, will be finishing in the top two. So just to give you an idea of who they could potentially face in the last 16, you'd be looking at Milan, PSV, Bruges or Sporting as Juventus, Milan, PSV or Bruges as potential opponents for Liverpool. That gives you an indication of nothing straightforward in this new format. Juve, Milan, PSV or Bruges as it currently stands.
Yeah, it's strong, isn't it? And I think there was a lot sort of talked about the strength of being at the top of the table, but then when you look at the bottom of it and how that's going to affect teams down there, it's going to be mighty difficult to win this competition for anyone.
Nunez up towards Salah. Good close control by Salah. Bursts into the penalty area. Shoots. Chevalier makes the save at his near post. Rides up his legs into the cup. It goes for a corner kick. Bolton Wanderers 1, Charlton 2 in League One. Charlton have turned that one around. It's finished in League 2. Harrogate 0, Colchester United 0. Watford have got a goal back in the Championship. Watford 1, Preston North End 2. And Middlesbrough have beaten West Bromwich Albion by 2-0. Liverpool have a corner. They lead 2-1. We've got 12 minutes to go. And Tsimikas takes the applause of the Kop as he walks over to this near side and places the ball down. Liverpool, who are looking to equal their best ever sequence of 7 wins in a row in the Champions League era. That was in 21-22 as the referee spotted another pushing, blows his whistle just as about Tsimikas was to strike the ball. Their record in Europe, however, is 9. That great Liverpool side in the 80s, 83-84, when they registered those 9 successive wins. Corner taken short, rolled in from the left. Tsimikas, in-swinger, headed out by Alexandro. Comes out to Endo, runs out to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Just over 10 minutes remaining, Liverpool lead 2-1. Ball played back, the 10 men of Lille with all their white shirts back behind the ball. Here is Bradley just over the halfway line. Remember tomorrow night, Paris Saint-Germain against Manchester City. Celtic young boys will be on Sports Extra. Thursday night we're at Old Trafford in the Europa League. Manchester United against Rangers. Wolves Arsenal, Manchester City Chelsea on Saturday. Spurs Leicester on Sunday. Palace Brentford's on Sports Extra. Aston Villa West Ham at 4:30. So much live football to look forward to on BBC Radio 5 Live. At a walking pace is Van Dijk, maybe just trying to maintain their control as the ball What was the breakdown in communication was that between Bradley and Salah?
Yeah, they both thought one another was going for the ball. Bradley thought that Salah would drop back and get it and he could make an overlap. Salah thought that Bradley was going to get there. But when you talk about them slowing the game down, I just think they're trying to invite the press from Lille, and then that'll leave more space in behind for the midfield to control the game.
Hull City 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2. QPR have won their last 4 now in the Championship. And Capier has been sent off for Bayer Leverkusen. So that means that both down to 10 men. Atletico Madrid 1, Leverkusen 1. Both have had a player sent off. Barcelona have got another goal back. 7-goal thriller in the Estadio de Luz. Benfica 4, Barcelona 3. Oxford United have beaten Luton Town by 3-2, unbeaten in 7 since Gary Rowett in the Championship took over. And Red Star have got a goal back. Red Star 2, the 10 men of PSV 3. Blackburn 0, Coventry City 2 is how it's finished also in the Championship. As Liverpool leading 2-1 with 9 minutes remaining of normal time. Chiesa collects the ball from Tsimikas. Chiesa cuts inside, shoots! Pushed away by the goalkeeper Chevalier. Liverpool could have had much more than their 2 goals in this second half, Stephen.
Yeah, he looks lively, doesn't he, Chiesa? A couple of lovely runs in behind that he's made, and then this one off the left-hand side, dropping into that on that right foot and then trying to bend it in the far corner. Goalkeeper pushed it away. It could have easily ricocheted into the path of one of the Liverpool players who was attacking, but smart play from Chiesa. He looks lively.
Full time at Swansea in the Championship. Molly Stevens.
Swansea 1, Sheffield United 2. The tale of 2 halves. Swansea started the brighter. Florian Bianchini with the early goal. It could have been 2, 3, 4. Then a change of fortunes. Rhian Brewster got the equaliser before Swansea's Harry Darling was sent off, and the points were sealed by Harrison Burrows from the spot. Sheffield United go top of the Championship. It's finished Swansea 1, Sheffield United 2.
They replace Leeds United at the summit of the Championship, and also moving on up, Sunderland. Charlie Slater.
Yeah, they're up to third. Derby 0, Sunderland 1. Mayenda's first half goal. Derby had a real go in the second half. Went close twice through headers from new signing Salverson. Couldn't find an equaliser though. It's their 5th defeat in a row as Sunderland win 1-0 at Pride Park.
Gary Bowyer's got his first win as Burton Albion manager. They've beaten Wigan Athletic away by 2-1. Fleetwood 2, MK Dons 1 is a result in League 2, and it's finished at London Road. Peterborough United 1, Exeter City 1, also in League 1. They're the results as they've just been coming in. We've got 7 minutes remaining in the Champions League. Earlier, Aston Villa lost at Monaco by 1-0. Here, Liverpool lead Lille by 2-1. Lille, who down to 10 men. Mandy sent off for a second yellow card just before the hour mark. And then that wicked deflection from Harvey Elliott midway through the second half, restoring Liverpool's advantage after they've been pegged back by Jonathan David. And Alexander-Arnold is going to be coming on as well for Liverpool. Just keeping everybody ticking over for this schedule, this busy schedule of January.
Yeah, I think he thinks it's quite important, Arne Slot, not just to fully rest players, but to give them that little bit of game sharpness, whether it's 20 minutes, half an hour. He feels that is something that he wants to keep, that continuity as well, that playing time for players, where sometimes you think, well, he should be rested completely, but maybe the training sessions are tapered completely, or more days off.
Haraldson linking up and coming forward in off that right touchline, enters the centre circle, plays it out towards Sarawi, left-hand side of the penalty area, looking towards the left back, who comes it back towards Haraldson and gets the shot away. It was Ismaili who did ever so well, pulled it back, and Haraldson, right-footed shot, took a deflection and goes behind for a corner kick. Every now and again they just burst into life.
Yeah, but it was poor from Liverpool. I think it was Harvey Elliott. He tries to shield the ball out, gets caught, and Ismaili pulls the ball back, and here's a shot coming in from Haraldson, but McAllister gets a good block on it. But it's just Liverpool switching off and being lazy.
So Lille, remember, after that sending off, just taking their time with the corner kick. Haraldson just turning as he makes his way out towards that far side to get some instructions across. Diakate and Alexandro are up from the back. Liverpool have got every red shirt inside the penalty area. Chiesa was alive to the short one being worked with Sarawi on that far side, the right, all in white, playing from right to left. Haraldson takes it, headed out by Nunez, volleyed forward by Salah. Nunez gives chase. Sahrawi, though, will hit the ball back towards his goalkeeper Chevalier inside his penalty area. 5 minutes remaining. We're with you on 5 Live Sport until 10:30 tonight on 5 Live. Then it's Late Night Livesey with Tony to take you through until the early hours as the ball is lifted over the top. Jonathan David beaten in the air by Quansah. David, the assistant referee on that far side, has raised his flag.
I think the initial ball was offside when it went through to Jonathan David, because if he's blown up for a foul on Conor Bradley there, he's been very, very generous.
Well, Bradley's last involvement in the game, because Alexander-Arnold is going to replace him with 4.5 minutes remaining of normal time. Watford 1, Preston North End 2 is a result in the Championship. That's a blow for Watford's playoff aspirations. And Charlton Athletic, who lost their 6-match unbeaten run at the weekend, have bounced back, coming from behind to beat Bolton Wanderers by 2-1 away from home in League One. As the stewards in their luminous jackets now take up their positions, crouching down by the advertising hoardings wherever we look around Anfield on this damp evening with 4 minutes remaining, and Liverpool lead 2-1 to secure their top seed placing in this Champions League format. The draw, incidentally, will be January the 31st. That's for the playoffs. Liverpool, of course, can rest easy and just wait to see who they will face as Salah gives it away. Sahrawi tries to run away from Salah and doesn't keep the ball in play, and it will be a Liverpool throw-in. How content do you think Arne Slot will be then with the level of performance? I know he will with the result.
No, I think he'll be delighted because of the changes that he made before the game. 4 changes, a lot of changes at the back when you think of Quansah and Conor Bradley coming in, an inexperienced right-hand side of defence. And I think it's been a job well done, because this is a dangerous team, Lille. They're very well organised.
Nunez cuts it back from the right side of the penalty area for the onrushing McAllister. And it was cleared away. Munya, I think it was, who covered, put it out of play for a throw.
The other thing we know is how difficult it is to win Champions League games. So I think from Arne Slot's point of view, he'll say that was the case tonight. It would have been very difficult. I think he'll be quietly pleased at how little opportunities that they've afforded Lille.
That was a clumsy challenge, and it's going to result in a yellow card for Andre, the experienced midfielder, for the foul on Endo, right corner of the penalty area with just over 2 minutes remaining.
You mustn't get yellow cards for them in the French league. I mean, that is incredible. He's absolutely sided them down, and then he's moaned about getting a yellow card after it. He's tackled him round his hip.
He still doesn't look too pleased either, Andre.
At all, is he?
In fact, that is a suspension that he'll miss the crucial game against Feyenoord at home next Wednesday.
Maybe I should have played in the French league. Had I got away with a few.
Well, there was the one from Diakate when he avoided yellow card earlier on for his challenge. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Bratislava have got a goal back. Bratislava 1, Stuttgart 2 in the Champions League. Liverpool have a corner kick. Tsimikas, right, free kick. Alexander-Arnold plays it in. Diakate heads it away. Tsimikas keeps the ball in play, going out for a throw. Back it goes to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold then will knock it back. Endo will just play this ball all the way back to Alisson, who's outside his D, and he hits it downfield. Ismaili, though, will let it run through towards Chevalier. And Barcelona have, would you believe, got an equaliser. Benfica 4, Barcelona 4. That undoubtedly is the game of the night. 4-4.
Get your money's worth if you bought a ticket there, wouldn't you?
Oh, just a bit.
Wow.
However, it will still mean that Barcelona have got work to do against Atalanta next week. They'll need to avoid defeat when those two sides play next week, because Liverpool are going to finish top of the league phase. The significance, you need to finish first or second realistically. It doesn't really make much difference apart from a prestige point of view, as Stuttgart have quickly got a third, so they've re-established that 2-goal lead in Slovakia. Slovan Bratislava 1, Stuttgart 3. But also, if you were to finish third or fourth, it means as well that you wouldn't necessarily face a Liverpool or a Barcelona until the semi-finals. Here is Salah coming forward, early ball in. Nunez unselfishly leaves it for Elliott. Sliding challenge comes in, picked up by Chiesa. Chiesa looks for the shooting opportunity. Great save, loose ball, tucked in by Nunez. Flag goes up. The flag was raised immediately, offside. It'll go to VAR. Liverpool's celebrations are put on hold.
Well, the ball from Mohamed Salah in behind is absolutely delightful. The outside of his left foot into Nunez, and you just see the layoff into Harvey Elliott, and it's a lovely layoff, but Harvey Elliott just isn't quick enough to get there. Chiesa does well down the left-hand side. He gets his shot away. Good save from Chevalier. Palms it out, and Nunez gets his shot away, but it's just strayed ever so slightly offside.
Yep, didn't count. Play back underway. Didn't take too long for VAR to have a look at that. We're into 3 minutes of added on time. Liverpool are still looking for a third goal. 5 Live and Radio Merseyside at Anfield. This is Salah cutting into the penalty area, right-hand side. A lazy swipe of the left leg with a cross, and Haraldson can bring it away for Lille. And then Alexandro tries to get Sahraoui away on this near side, but quickly closing him down was Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool, Alexandro might have just been caught by McAllister. The referee has let that one play on. He's got the number as he points towards McAllister, as it's with Bouadi on that far side. Haraldson plays it back out towards Meunier. Alexandro is still down on the floor. Haraldson with a cross, caught by Alisson. Liverpool lead by 2-1. Alexandro is only now getting to his feet. Was he just caught a fraction late by McAllister?
Yeah, I think he's made a lot of it. Alexandro makes sure that the referee knew that there was a coming together between the two players. He picks up a yellow card for his troubles, McAllister. I don't think it was as clear and obvious as the referee thinks it was.
Bruges 0, Juventus 0 is how it's finished. Bruges go to Manchester City next week. We'll be all across that final round of Champions League games next Wednesday, as Lille have got a corner kick in injury time. The 10 men of Lille only trailing by 2-1 and urged on by that passionate French following, looking for a dramatic equaliser, and the passions are on the rise as well, because Haraldson, as he walks over to take the corner kick, has whipped them up. And I noticed that Chevalier has also come from the back as well. The goalkeeper has made his way forward. The 10 men of Lille looking to try and grab a dramatic equaliser. In it comes, doesn't beat the first man. Nunez with a header away. Chiesa cut out by Bouadi, as the goalkeeper Chevalier was quickly herring his way back towards his penalty area. He could have been caught out there, but I guess they had to go for it.
Oh, they did. There's an opportunity for them. Endo was caught on the ball, and it was an opportunity down the left-hand side, similar to a position that they scored from, but this time Konsa gets close enough and he closes the space off and puts it behind for a corner.
Yellow card has been shown, I think, to Sahraoui for speaking out of turn. Since Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest in mid-September, unbeaten in 13 at home, they've won 11 and drawn 2, but they've scored at least 2 goals now in all of those 14 games since, as they look to extend it to unbeaten in 14. Handball against David, but the referee blows his whistle, and Liverpool keep up the winning run, the only team with a 100% winning record in the Champions League, and they are guaranteed to finish top of this new league phase, underlining why they are the favourites for this season's Champions League.
Yeah, job well done from Liverpool. Could potentially have been a banana skin for them. A tricky game. They've got one away at Atletico Madrid, 3-1. They've beaten Real Madrid, so they've got previous, have this Lille team. Liverpool, they've made changes, but they were better in the second half. They were dominant. A little mistake, a lack of concentration allowed Lille back into the game to get themselves at 1-1. But then They just saw out the game in the right manner, Liverpool. They just continued to dominate possession and saw out the game quite comfortably in the end.
7 wins from 7 in the Champions League for Liverpool. Mo Salah with his 50th goal in European competition gave them a half-time lead. Mandy was sent off for a second yellow card just before the hour mark. Against the run of play, David on the rebound got an equaliser for Lille just past the hour mark. But then Elliott 5 minutes later with a wicked deflection gave Liverpool a deserved lead. Atletico Madrid with a double from Julian Alvarez now lead Leverkusen by 2-1, but it's finished here at Anfield. Liverpool 2, Lille 1.
Ian Dennis and Stephen Warnock at Anfield for us. And Stephen, there've certainly been more dramatic European nights at Anfield, but I think the phrase you used was job well done for Liverpool.
Yeah, and it was exactly that, Kelly, because it was one of those games where you're watching in the first half thinking, oh, this Lille team's organised, it's very good at pressing, it's trying to retain Liverpool or contain Liverpool and stop them playing through the lines. And once Liverpool figured it out, they became a little bit more dangerous, and we started to see them counter-attack, but also vary the style of play as well and go a little bit more direct, and that just opened the game up nicely for them. But then we just know that the quality that Liverpool have, and that ball in the first half from Curtis Jones into Salah, and that just changes the context of the game then into Lille have to come out of the shape a little bit more. But it was a fascinating game from a tactical aspect, and the way that the two teams pitted the wits against each other. You just felt that Liverpool were maybe in sort of second or third gear throughout the game. They didn't really have to exert themselves too much.
Was it also a way of maximising the squad as well, given the kind of the timing of some of the substitutions? I know Curtis Jones maybe took a knock, and that's why he came off, just to try and protect him, but also in terms of giving minutes to players who haven't had many so far this season.
Yeah, I think it was vital. I think when you think of Darwin Núñez now getting 90 minutes under his belt, that'll do him the world of good. Harvey Elliott coming off the bench, having another a bit more of an impact. Konza and Connor Bradley as well getting vital game time, because at some point they might pick up injuries, they might pick up suspensions, and you've got to have them players at the maximum or as close as they can be to being ready to come in and straight into the team and perform at the highest level. You can't be out of a team for 6 or 7 games and not really had many minutes and expect to play at the highest level. It's just a very difficult task. So sensible from Arne Slot, but he's done that throughout his reign so far as Liverpool manager.
Any concern in them conceding a goal when Lille were already down to 10 men?
I think it's sloppy again. I think they switch off at times, Liverpool, especially down that right-hand side. Liverpool's right. We saw it with Trent against Manchester United and Canate. And tonight it's Konza and it's Bradley who switch off a little bit, and he gets the wrong side of Bradley, and Bradley's not strong enough to get back and put the challenge in. So it is a little bit of a concern, but it's one that they're getting away with at the moment. But we're nitpicking, aren't we? We're going through the finest details here to try and find faults in this Liverpool team, and a little bit at times where it's a little bit too easy for them. I felt like that was the case tonight, and maybe a little bit of complacency crept in, but as soon as Lille score, you see the level pick back up again.
As you say, it's 7 wins in 7 now in the Champions League. They've got the last game of their this stage of the Champions League on Wednesday, but they already know they're going to finish in top spot. I mean, that's an incredible run of form in this competition.
Yeah, and one that I think start of the season not many people knew what to expect from Arne Slot, and I think early on me and Ian Dennis were at the AC Milan game away from home, and when Pulisic scored early on, it was a bit of a here comes the challenge for Liverpool. And since then they've just cruised. They've just been formidable, the way that they've approached every game, the mindset. When they've been able to sort of coast games, they coast it extremely well. When they need to put the foot down, they're capable of doing that. People will fear playing Liverpool. They really will, because defensively they're organised, midfield wise they've got people who can sort of rough it up if they need to, but also can play. And then that forward line, I mean, he didn't even bring Gakpo on tonight, so he's got Gakpo, Núñez, he's got Diogo Jota, who's injured at the moment, and then obviously he's got Mohamed Salah. So teams will fear playing them.
Denno, we'll come back to this between now and 10:30, but just remind us of the overall picture for Liverpool now in the Champions League.
Well, I was about to say that Liverpool are guaranteed to finish top. However, would you believe Barcelona have got a late goal, so it's now Benfica 4, Barcelona 5, which means that that Liverpool still have a 3-point lead over Barcelona. So theoretically, they could be caught on goal difference going into the final set of games. But the good thing is for Liverpool, it doesn't matter whether they finish top or second, they will be one of the top seeds, and that means that, say for instance, it is Barcelona, Liverpool know that they can't face Barcelona now until the final, because they'll be kept apart. One will be in one half of the draw and the other will be in the other half of the draw. But just to give you an indication of the potential peril that still lies ahead, Liverpool will face a team, one of 4 teams from 15, 16, 17 or 18 from their finishing positions in the last 16, and at the minute that would be Milan, PSV, Bruges or Benfica. But you could still be potentially looking at maybe a Juventus or indeed a Real Madrid or indeed a Manchester City. Time will tell when tomorrow's games, and of course the final set of matches next Wednesday, when it all unfolds.
Kelly, if you didn't hear Deno say a couple of words there, it was because he got a smack on the head from Alan Shearer as he walked past. Knocked him off his trail of thought, I think.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I understand the sentiment from Alan Shearer there.
Lady Kelly, I expected better from you.
As he did it, he said that's from Kelly.
Stephen, Andy, and for now, thank you very much. We'll be talking to them again on the other side of the news.